Have you ever wanted to say something in English and stopped because you weren't sure which verb to use? Say, tell, speak, and talk. For example, should you say, she said me the news, or she told me the news? Should you say, I speak English at work, or I tell English at work? What about this one? We talked the problem, or we talked about the problem. These four verbs are very small, but they create many common English mistakes, even for good learners. In this video, you'll learn one simple rule for each verb. Use say when you focus on the words or the message. Use tell when you give information to a person. Use speak for languages or when the situation is a little more formal or serious. And use talk for conversations and discussions. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use say, tell, speak, and talk in a more natural, professional, and accurate way. And please stay until the end because we'll do a short role play to check if you can use all four correctly in a real work situation. Hi, from the language school, The World. Let's make these confusing English verbs simple. And let's start with say. We use say to focus on the words or on a message. What did she say? We also use say for direct quotes. For example, she said, I'm busy. Or we use say to report a message without focusing on the listener. He said, the meeting starts at 10. He said he was tired. So here is the practical trick. You say when the focus is on the words or the message. Don't put the listener directly after the verb say. That's why you shouldn't say, he said me the news. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? For this sentence, we need a different verb. And that verb is tell. You can use tell with a person. So the structure can be tell plus the person plus the information. For example, she told me the news, not said. Can you tell me your name? She told us the problem. I told my boss I needed more time. So this verb is very useful at work, in interviews, and in professional conversations. For example, in a job interview, you can ask someone or someone might ask you, could you tell me more about the role? Or when asking for information. And please remember, information is uncountable. So it's always singular. You can say, could you tell me what time the meeting starts? So now don't say, could you say me your email? You can say, could you tell me your email address, please? So here is a simple rule to remember. Say the words, tell a person. Before we move on to the next two verbs, which are speak and talk, here is a mini quiz for you. Which sentence is correct? A, my colleague said me the answer. B, my colleague told me the answer. Yes, of course. The correct answer is B, my colleague told me the answer. So how did you do? Did you get it right? And which pair confuses you more? Say and tell or speak and talk? Keep the answer in your head and we'll test it soon. So let's move on to speak. We use speak for languages. For example, I speak English or she speaks Spanish. Do you speak French? So speak is used for languages, but also for communication that sounds a little more formal or serious. For example, I need to speak to my manager, or I'd like to speak to you about the project. At work, this sounds professional and natural. Some learners might be tempted to use with together with speak. So, for example, they would like to say speak with someone. Now, it is not completely wrong because it sounds a little bit more formal, and it is also very common in American English. But in everyday British English, we say speak to, so which is much more common and also more natural. So for daily situations, you can say, I need to speak to the manager, or can I speak to you for the moment? If you want a simple rule for natural British English, use speak to for everyday conversations. Now, let's look at talk. Speak can sound a little more formal, but talk is usually more conversational. So use talk for conversations. For examples, can we talk later? Or we talked for 20 minutes. Or I talked to my colleague yesterday. When you mention the topic, please, you need to use about. So talk about and then the topic. For example, we talked about the project, or they talked about the new schedule, or can we talk about the meeting? So here is a little word trap. Don't say we talked the problem. You should say we talked about the problem. So remember, you talk to a person and you talk about a topic. So now we've seen the 4 rules. Let's test them in one real-life work situation. Imagine you are at work. Choose the correct verb. The manager. Can we talk, say, about the presentation? The correct answer is, can we talk about the presentation? Because talk about means have a conversation about a topic. Next one. You, of course. I spoke or told to Anna yesterday. Which one is correct? The correct answer is, I spoke to Anna yesterday, because we say speak to someone. Next, you will say, Anna told or said me the client had some questions. The correct answer is, Anna told me the client had some questions, because tell plus person plus information. And finally, the manager can say, what did she say or tell? The correct answer is, what did she say? Because here we are asking about the words or the message. Now, you used all 4. Talk about the presentation, spoke to Anna, told me, what did she say? That is real life English. Now, I have one question for you. Which verb is the hardest for you? Say, tell, speak, or talk. Write it in the comments, or write one sentence using at least one of these verbs. Save this video and repeat the practice again tomorrow. These verbs become easier when you hear them more than once. And please like the video and subscribe to the World Language School for more clear, easy English lessons. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.